First up, the 1935 bad condition wheat penny may not appear impressive at first glance, especially when heavily worn or damaged. But looks can be deceiving. Minted during the throes of the Great Depression, this coin represents a challenging period in American history. With a mintage of over 245 million at the Philadelphia Mint, the 1935 wheat penny was a common coin in its time. The obverse features the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1935. The reverse boasts the classic wheat ears design, flanking the denomination and the motto, E pluribus unum. Even in poor condition, this penny holds significant historical value. It circulated widely in an era when every cent was precious, serving as a reminder of the resilience and resourcefulness of Americans during hard times. Coins in bad condition often have stories to tell, as they have traveled through countless hands, witnessing everyday life during one of the most challenging periods in U.S. history. For collectors, even heavily worn 1935 wheat pennies serve as tangible links to the past. They're a reminder of a time when people relied on every penny, whether to buy a loaf of bread or save for the future. One aspect to consider with the 1935 wheat penny is its availability. Being minted in large quantities, this coin is relatively common. However, the condition significantly impacts its value. A 1935 wheat penny in poor condition might only be worth its face value or slightly more to a casual collector. However, to history enthusiasts or those who appreciate coins for their narratives, even a heavily worn piece can hold sentimental or educational value. Many collectors cherish such coins as part of a broader effort to document American history through currency. The 1935 wheat penny is also a great entry point for beginners in the coin collecting hobby. Its affordability and historical significance make it an excellent teaching tool for new collectors who want to learn about grading, minting, and the historical context of coins. For instance, examining the wear patterns on a 1935 wheat penny can provide insights into how coins deteriorate over time, especially when subjected to heavy circulation. Collectors can also study the variations in mint marks and understand how minting practices evolved during the early 20th century. For those interested in restoring or preserving coins, a bad condition 1935 wheat penny offers opportunities for experimentation. While cleaning coins is generally discouraged in the numismatic community, learning proper preservation techniques can help maintain the integrity of a coin without damaging its historical value. Beginners can practice these skills on low-value coins, like the 1935 wheat penny, before applying them to more valuable pieces. When it comes to identifying counterfeit coins, even a bad condition 1935 wheat penny can be educational. Collectors can learn to recognize authentic characteristics, such as the font style, spacing of the inscriptions, and the overall design. Comparing a worn 1935 wheat penny to a known counterfeit can highlight subtle differences, helping collectors develop a critical eye. Next up, the year 1949 was an era of optimism and rebuilding for the United States. The country was transitioning out of the challenges of World War II and into a period of economic growth and prosperity. Coinage from this time reflects a renewed sense of national pride and purpose. The Lincoln wheat penny, originally introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, was a staple of everyday transactions. By 1949, this iconic coin had been in circulation for 40 years, becoming a familiar and trusted symbol of American resilience and history. The obverse of the 1949 Lincoln wheat penny features the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design was revolutionary when it debuted, as it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. Surrounding Lincoln's bust are the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1949. The reverse showcases two wheat ears framing the denomination 1 cent and the Latin motto E pluribus unum, translating to out of many, one. The simplicity and elegance of this design have made it a favorite among collectors and history enthusiasts alike. What sets the 1949 clip plancher wheat penny apart is its fascinating minting error. A clip plancher error occurs during the production process when the metal blanks, planchets are improperly punched out of the metal sheet. This results in a coin with a missing crescent-shaped or straight-edged section. The size and location of the clip can vary, creating unique and highly sought-after variations. Some clips are subtle, while others are more dramatic, with larger portions of the coin missing. In the case of the 1949 wheat penny, collectors particularly value examples where the clip does not obscure key design elements like Lincoln's portrait or the inscriptions. To truly appreciate the significance of this error, it's important to understand the minting process. Coins are struck from metal sheets using high-pressure dies. Before striking, the sheets are fed into a punching machine to create planchets. If the sheet is misaligned or overlaps with a previously punched area, the resulting planchet will have a clip. This type of error is relatively rare, as quality control measures usually catch such defects before the coins enter circulation. However, when these coins do slip through the cracks, they become prized collectibles. The value of a 1949 clip planchet wheat penny depends on several factors, including the size and location of the clip, the coin's overall condition, and the presence of other errors. In general, minor clips might fetch $20 to $50, while more pronounced examples can command several $100s. Coins that are well preserved or have additional errors such as die cracks or doubled dies are even more valuable. For collectors specializing in error coins, the 1949 clip planchet wheat penny represents a perfect blend of historical significance and manufacturing anomaly. The year 1952 was part of a post-World War II era that saw significant cultural and economic growth in the United States. The Korean War was ongoing, and the American people were looking toward a future of prosperity and innovation. Pennies minted during this period were part of the daily lives of Americans, used in countless transactions, and serving as a reminder of Abraham Lincoln's enduring legacy. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series, which started in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, was a staple of American coinage, and by 1952, it had been in circulation for over 4 decades. Now let's dive into the design features of the 1952 wheat penny. The obverse of the coin features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design by Victor David Brenner. This iconic image of Lincoln was groundbreaking when it first appeared in 1909, as it was the first time a U.S. coin depicted a real historical figure. Surrounding Lincoln's portrait are the inscriptions "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1952 to the right. On the reverse, you'll find 2 stylized wheat ears framing the denomination 1 cent, and the Latin motto E pluribus unum, which means out of many one. The reverse design, simple yet elegant, symbolizes unity and abundance. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1952 brown shade wheat penny is its coloration. While most wheat pennies were minted with a bronze composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, environmental factors such as oxidation, heat, and exposure to chemicals can alter a coin's appearance over time. The result is a wide range of shades, from reddish brown to deep chocolate tones, with the brown shade being particularly appealing to many collectors. This natural patina gives each coin a unique character, turning a simple penny into a miniature work of art. In terms of mintage, the 1952 wheat penny was struck in large quantities across 3 mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 186 million coins. The Denver Mint struck approximately 746 million, and the San Francisco Mint contributed about 137 million. Combined, this makes the 1952 wheat penny one of the more common dates in the series. However, condition and rarity still play a significant role in determining a coin's value, especially for those with unique features like the brown shade patina. When it comes to market value, the 1952 brown shade wheat penny's worth depends heavily on its condition, coloration, and any unique characteristics. Coins in average circulated condition typically sell for a few cents to $1. However, those in higher grades, such as MS-65 or above, can fetch significantly more, sometimes reaching $15 to $50 or even higher for coins with particularly attractive toning or exceptional eye appeal. Collectors place a premium on well-preserved examples with minimal wear, sharp details, and original luster. Next up, The year 1925 was part of a period of great change and growth in the United States. The country was in the midst of the Roaring Twenties, an era marked by economic prosperity, cultural shifts, and technological advancements. Jazz music was taking the nation by storm. Women had recently gained the right to vote, and the automobile industry was booming. Amidst this backdrop of progress, the humble wheat penny continued to serve as a daily reminder of Abraham Lincoln's enduring legacy and the values he stood for. By 1925, the Lincoln wheat penny had been in circulation for 16 years, having debuted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Now, let's move on to the design features of the 1925 wheat penny. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the coin features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln. This was a groundbreaking design choice at the time, as it marked the first appearance of a real historical figure on a U.S. coin. Surrounding Lincoln's portrait are the inscriptions, "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1925 to the right. The reverse of the coin showcases two stylized wheat ears flanking the denomination 1 cent, and the Latin motto E pluribus unum, which translates to "out of many, one." The simplicity and elegance of this design have made it a timeless classic, cherished by collectors for over a century. One of the key aspects that make the 1925 wheat penny in fine condition stand out is its state of preservation. Coins in fine condition show moderate wear, but retain all major details of the design. Lincoln's portrait, for example, remains clear and well-defined, while the wheat ears on the reverse are still easily recognizable. This level of preservation adds to the coin's appeal, especially when compared to heavily worn examples that have lost much of their original detail. In terms of mintage, the 1925 wheat penny was produced in large quantities across 3 mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint, which struck coins without a mint mark, produced a staggering 139,949,000 pennies that year. The Denver Mint, identified by the D mint mark, produced 22,580,000 coins, while the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S, struck 26,380,000. Despite these high mintage numbers, finding a 1925 wheat penny in fine condition or better can still be a challenge, as many coins from this era were heavily circulated and subjected to the wear and tear of everyday use. When it comes to market value, the 1925 wheat penny's worth varies depending on its condition and mint mark. In fine condition, a 1925 penny from the Philadelphia Mint typically sells for around $50 to $1. Coins from the Denver and San Francisco mints, being scarcer, command higher prices, ranging from $1.50 to $3 or more. Uncirculated examples in pristine condition can fetch significantly higher prices, often exceeding $50, especially for coins with exceptional eye, appeal, or rare varieties. Next up, the year 1924 was a significant period in American history. The United States was experiencing the aftermath of World War I and the economic prosperity of the Roaring Twenties. This era saw advancements in technology, culture, and industrialization, while prohibition laws shaped the social landscape. Calvin Coolidge was serving as president, promoting a laissez-faire approach to governance and fostering economic growth. Amid this dynamic backdrop, the 1924 wheat penny was minted, a humble yet enduring symbol of American resilience and progress. Now let's examine the design features of the 1924 wheat penny. The obverse, or front side, features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design, introduced in 1909, commemorated the centennial of Lincoln's birth and marked the first time a U.S. coin featured a real historical figure. Above Lincoln's head is the inscription, "In God We Trust," while Liberty is positioned to his left and the date 1924 to his right. The reverse side showcases 2 stylized wheat ears flanking the denomination 1 cent and the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. This timeless design remained unchanged throughout the wheat penny's production, making it a cherished staple of American coinage. What sets the 1924 brown shade wheat penny apart is its distinctive color and patina. Over time, the copper composition of the coin naturally oxidizes, creating a rich brown tone that adds character and uniqueness. This brown shade is highly valued by collectors, as it reflects the coin's age and authenticity while preserving its intricate details. Coins with a consistent and attractive brown patina are particularly sought after, as they exhibit both aesthetic appeal and historical significance. In terms of mintage, the 1924 wheat penny was produced at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 7,578,000 coins, the Denver Mint produced 2,520,000, and the San Francisco Mint minted 11,696,000. The significantly lower mintage numbers from the Denver and San Francisco mints make these variations scarcer and more desirable among collectors. While the Philadelphia issue is more common, high-grade examples are still highly valued. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most iconic coins in U.S. numismatic history. Struck during the height of World War II, this coin holds both historical and collectible value. The obverse of the coin features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design, which has been in use since 1909, became a lasting symbol of U.S. currency. On the reverse, the familiar wheat ears are seen on either side of the phrase "E pluribus unum" and 1 cent, a design by John R. Sinnock that had been in use since 1909 as well. The year 1944 is notable because it was the middle of World War II, and during this time, there was a significant shift in the materials used for coin production. The 1944 penny, unlike its predecessors, was made from steel-coated zinc, which was used in 1943 due to a copper shortage. However, in 1944, the U.S. Mint returned to the traditional copper alloy, producing pennies that were more similar to the ones minted before the war. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is relatively abundant in circulation, but its condition plays a significant role in its value. Coins that are well-worn and in poor condition typically have a low value, often around 10 to 50 cents. However, coins in higher grades, those that have been well preserved with little wear, can fetch higher prices. A 1944 Lincoln penny in uncirculated or mint condition may be worth several dollars, sometimes reaching upwards of $10 or more, depending on factors like the level of preservation and whether it has been professionally graded. One of the rarest variations of the 1944 penny is the 1944 steel penny. A few of these coins were mistakenly struck with the steel planchettes that were left over from the previous year's production. This error, though extremely rare, can significantly increase the coin's value, sometimes reaching thousands of dollars at auction. While most collectors will never encounter one of these rare pieces, they are highly sought after and are considered one of the top rarities in the Lincoln Penny series. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is not just a relic of the past, it's a symbol of the historical period in which it was created. The coin was produced during a time when the United States was in the midst of a global conflict, and it represents the economic realities of wartime America. The production of pennies during this period was influenced by the need to conserve materials for the war effort, and this scarcity of copper played a role in the experimentation with alternative metals for coinage. Collectors and enthusiasts appreciate the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny not only for its historical significance, but also for the connection it provides to a critical period in American history. Whether it's a basic example or a rare error coin, this penny holds up the hearts of many numismatists who study and appreciate U.S. coinage. Its value can vary greatly depending on its condition, with some examples being worth little more than face value, while others, especially those with the steel error, can be worth significantly more, making it a coin of interest to both casual collectors and serious investors alike. Next up, the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny is a coin that continues to be of interest to collectors, primarily due to its historical context and its place within the larger Lincoln Cent series. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, which first appeared in 1909, continued to be struck until 1958 when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design. The 1957 coin represents the tail end of the wheat penny era, making it a key year for collectors of this specific design. On the obverse, The 1957 Lincoln penny features a bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This portrait of the 16th president has become one of the most iconic images in U.S. coinage. The coin reads, "In God we trust," above Lincoln's head, "Liberty" to the left, and 1957 to the right, with a simple but respectful representation of the president's likeness. The reverse of the 1957 penny is where the iconic wheat ears appear, framing the words 1 cent in the middle. The phrase "e pluribus unum" is above the denomination, with a small mint mark beneath it if applicable. The wheat ears design, created by John R. Sinnock, symbolizes the nation's agricultural heritage, a theme that was common in many early U.S. coin designs. As for the historical context, the 1957 penny was struck during a time of relative peace and prosperity in the United States. It was produced in the midst of the post-World War II economic boom, when the country was emerging as a global superpower with a rapidly growing economy. The 1950s marked a time of industrial growth, suburban expansion, and technological advancements in the U.S., and this coin reflects the economic stability of that era. The production of pennies during this time was part of an ongoing effort to meet the demand for currency in a growing economy, and the use of copper as the primary material for the penny continued until the late 1980s. The value of a 1957 Lincoln wheat penny depends largely on its condition. In general, these coins are not rare, and their value is typically close to face value, which is 1 cent. A well-worn penny may be worth only a few cents more than its face value, but coins that are in better condition can be worth more. A 1957 penny in fine or uncirculated condition may be valued at a few dollars, though it's not uncommon to see them listed for prices ranging from $1 to $10, depending on the specific grading of the coin. One of the more significant variations of the 1957 penny is the presence of the mint mark, which can be located beneath the 1 cent on the reverse of the coin. The 1957 pennies were produced at 3 different U.S. mint facilities: Philadelphia, which does not use a mint mark, Denver, marked with a D, and San Francisco, marked with an S. The Denver and San Francisco mint-marked coins are slightly more valuable due to their lower mintage numbers, though the difference is often minor unless the coin is in particularly good condition or graded highly. In terms of error coins, the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny does not have as many notable varieties as some other years, but collectors may still seek out examples with unique or unexpected features. For example, double die errors, which occur when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, can sometimes be found. These errors, although rare, can significantly increase the value of the coin, especially if they are well defined. Next up, the 1937 brown-color Lincoln wheat penny holds a special place in both numismatics and U.S. coinage history. Struck at the height of the Great Depression, this penny features the familiar design created by sculptor Victor David Brenner. The obverse showcases the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse displays 2 wheat stalks surrounding the words "e pluribus unum" and 1 cent, representing America's agricultural roots and the nation's values. The 1937 penny was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, though the bulk of these coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The brown color of the coin is due to its copper composition, which, over time, can oxidize and acquire a patina. Coins that have been preserved without much wear or damage often display this rich brown hue, particularly those that were kept in circulation for extended periods. As for its value, the 1937 Lincoln wheat penny is generally considered a common coin, with millions minted that year. The coin's value largely depends on its condition and rarity. A penny in average circulated condition may only fetch a few cents, while those in uncirculated or near mint condition can command a higher price, sometimes reaching a few dollars. Coins with rare minting errors or in pristine condition, such as those with full red color or high-grade certifications, could be worth significantly more. The 1937 penny's historical context also adds to its appeal. The coin was produced during a time when the U.S. economy was struggling through the Great Depression, a period of widespread economic hardship that affected millions of Americans. The United States government, in response, had to make several changes in coinage production to address the lack of circulation of currency, and the penny played an essential role in everyday transactions. Moreover, the Lincoln Wheat Penny series as a whole represents the United States' tribute to its 16th president. Lincoln was revered for his leadership during the Civil War, and the penny bearing his likeness has become an iconic part of American coinage, remaining in production until 1958, when the design was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. Collectors today often seek out high-grade examples of the 1937 penny due to its role in the larger history of U.S. coinage. Though the 1937 penny isn't particularly rare, certain varieties, such as those with mint errors or special strikes, can be valuable additions to a collection. Additionally, the coin's place in American history, as well as its association with Abraham Lincoln, adds sentimental and historical value for many collectors. If you happen upon a 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny in your collection, next up, the 1947 brown-color Lincoln Wheat Penny is an important coin in U.S. numismatics, continuing the legacy of the Lincoln Wheat series, which began in 1909. This penny, like others in the series, features a design by Victor David Brenner, with President Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse. The 1947 penny, made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, represents a post-World War II era, with the U.S. economy beginning its recovery after years of global conflict. The 1947 penny was minted in large quantities at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. The brown color seen on many of these coins comes from the natural oxidation process of copper over time. When kept in circulation for extended periods, the surface of the coin can tarnish, producing a duller, reddish-brown appearance. This brown hue is typical of older copper coins as they begin to age and wear. Uncirculated examples, or those that have been well preserved in specific environments, may still exhibit a more vibrant reddish or copper color. But the majority of 1947 pennies, like other circulated coins, are seen in varying shades of brown. In terms of value, the 1947 Lincoln Wheat Penny is generally not considered rare or highly valuable in its standard circulated condition. It was produced in very large numbers, with the Philadelphia Mint alone producing over 1 billion examples. As a result, this coin is relatively common in the marketplace today. A 1947 penny, in worn, circulated condition, might only fetch a few cents. However, the coin's value can increase significantly if it is in higher grades, such as an uncirculated or mint state condition, where it can be worth a few dollars. Coins with full red color, or those that have been graded as high as MS65 or better, can reach even higher prices, sometimes up to $10 or more, depending on the exact market conditions. Like other coins from the era, the 1947 Lincoln Wheat Penny holds historical significance. The year 1947 marked a period of transition for the United States. The end of World War II brought about economic changes, with a booming post-war economy and the rise of consumerism. This was a time when the nation began shifting from wartime production to peacetime economic growth. Many people had more money to spend, and coins like the 1947 penny were in regular circulation in daily transactions. The 1947 penny represents an era when the country was moving toward greater prosperity, though the scars of the war were still fresh in the minds of many. Though the 1947 Lincoln Wheat Penny is not particularly rare, collectors may still seek it out due to its association with this post-war period and its place in the broader Lincoln Penny series. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series was designed to honor Abraham Lincoln, who was revered for his leadership during the Civil War. His likeness remained on the coin from its introduction in 1909 until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse. The 1947 penny, like others in the series, serves as a reminder of Lincoln's enduring legacy in American history. Next up, the 1948 wheat penny, even in poor or bad condition, holds value and significance both in terms of its numismatic history and its connection to U.S. coinage. Struck during the post-World War II era, this penny features the iconic Lincoln design by Victor David Brenner, with President Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and two wheat stalks on the reverse. This design, in circulation for nearly 50 years, reflects a period in American history marked by recovery and growth after the war. In terms of composition, the 1948 wheat penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a typical makeup for most of the Lincoln wheat pennies. Over time, these coins naturally oxidize, especially if they've been in circulation for a long period, which results in the familiar brown color that most collectors associate with these older pennies. As for the 1948 penny's value in bad or poor condition, it is generally considered to be worth only a few cents. Most of these pennies from this year were produced in large quantities, and even in worn or heavily circulated condition, they remain common in the market. For instance, a 1948 penny in poor condition, which may show significant wear, scratches, or signs of damage such as corrosion or discoloration, could be valued around 1 to 5 cents. This is because, despite its historical value, the coin is abundant, and its condition makes it less desirable to collectors. The 1948 penny was minted in large numbers across the 3 U.S. mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint alone struck more than 1 billion of these pennies, so the supply far exceeds the demand, particularly in low-grade conditions. These coins were released into circulation during a time when the U.S. was transitioning into a peacetime economy following World War II. The country was experiencing an economic boom, and inflationary pressures were starting to affect everyday life. The 1948 penny is therefore symbolic of a time when the U.S. was moving away from wartime scarcity to a new era of prosperity. Though the 1948 penny in poor condition may not be valuable as an individual piece, it holds historical importance within the broader context of American coinage. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series was designed to honor Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president, who is remembered for his leadership during the Civil War and his efforts to preserve the Union. The wheat stalks on the reverse were intended to reflect the nation's agricultural roots, and for nearly 5 decades, the coin was a staple of American currency. In 1959, a decade after the 1948 penny was minted, the design of the penny changed to the Lincoln Memorial reverse. However, coins like the 1948 wheat penny continue to be sought after by collectors who focus on the Lincoln series, even in less than ideal condition. For collectors, these pennies are not just about value, but also about preserving a tangible piece of history that represents a specific time in the country's economic and cultural development. Even in bad condition, the 1948 penny can serve as an entry point for those looking to start a coin collection, particularly if they are interested in focusing on coins from the mid-20th century. For more advanced collectors, the 1948 penny could be part of a larger set of wheat pennies, with examples in better condition holding greater interest. Ultimately, while the 1948 wheat penny may not fetch much in poor condition, its historical value and the story behind it remain significant.